Call to order, call to order, call to order. Call to order. Call to order, please. Call to order. Honorable members, invited guests, our distinguished invited resource persons and experts. The program will soon be on the way. May I invite you all to take your seats at this very moment. Please make sure you free the walkways and minimize walking about, because the president will soon be here and the program will commence immediately. Thank you very much. I know. So when it's coming, yeah. Call to order, please.
To the Jophus Anamuah Mensah Conference Center here
Hello.
at the North Campus
Hello.
of the University of Education Winneba, where today the University of Education Winneba is playing host to
Hello.
delegates from all over
Call
West
to order,
Africa,
call to order, call to
including
order.
the first gentleman of this republic, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo, President of the Republic of Ghana. Well, the presence is about arriving at the Jophus Anamuah Mensah Conference Center, the venue of the program, and the program is the 5th Legislature Ecowas Parliament that is taking place here in Winneba. His Excellency, the President is already at the Jophus Anamuah Mensah Comfort Foyer, and he will soon be ushered in. Dignitaries from all over Ecowas are here, and on the podium I see the Omahin of the Futu traditional area, Neigati, the chairperson of the Electoral Commission of Ghana, Madam Jean Addo Mensah, who is seated, and a whole lot. The Ecowas Parliament is made up of 115 members from all the 15 states in the Ecowas sub-region, and each state is supposed to have 5 members, but looking at the sizes of each country, some other countries have more to the 5. And Nigeria, which is the biggest of all countries in ECOWAS, has 38 members on this ECOWAS Parliament, followed by Ghana, which has 8, Cote d'Ivoire has 7, with other countries having 5. Now, the ECOWAS Parliament originally sits in Abuja, the capital of Nigeria, but it has been delocalized, and so all states in the ECOWAS sub-region will have their share. But Ghana, this is the second time we're having our share or hosting ECOWAS Parliament, and is being held in Winneba under the auspices of the leader of the Ghanaian delegation to the ECOWAS Parliament, the Honorable Member of Parliament for Efutu, the Honorable Alexander Afeomakin. Now, the first one was held sometime in July this year at the Gloria Aka Hotel, but today, because of the numbers, the venue has been shifted to the Jophus Anamuah Mensah Conference Center, where the event is coming to you. Aside the plenary, there will be other discussions which will be coming to you wherever you are in ECOWAS, in Ghana, in Nigeria, Togo, Cote d'Ivoire, Benin, Niger, Mali, Senegal, the Gambia, Guinea-Bissau, Sierra Leone, Liberia, Benin, and Morocco. These are the 15 members of the ECOWAS Parliament, and the Parliament has a speaker in the person of Right Honorable Dr. Sidi Mohammed Tunis, with 4 deputies, include Honorable Ahmed Idris Wasi. He is the first deputy speaker. The second deputy speaker is Bubakre Sani Malam Chaibu, and the third deputy speaker is Honorable Memunatu Ibrahima, and the fourth Honorable Ajasatu Kamara Pinto. Now, the ECOWAS Parliament has four deputy speakers, with a speaker and a general secretary. Of the 4 deputies, 2 are women. So you can see here that gender equity is working in some sense. We have women as deputy speakers, with 2 being men, and this, to me, is a great move by the ECOWAS Parliament. The Parliament also has a general secretary in the person of John Azuma. He is the general secretary of the ECOWAS Parliament. And the president, of course, of the ECOWAS Parliament is the Honorable Jean-Claude Cassibro, who is the president of the ECOWAS Parliament. We come to you from the Jophus Anamuah Mensah Conference Center at the North Campus, where today we're bringing to you on Radio Winneba 98.3 FM, the 5th legislature sitting here in Winneba of the ECOWAS Parliament. We also coming to you on Facebook at Radio Winneba 98.3 FM, and also on the university's homepage at www.uew.edu.gh. I am Kwame Anamuah with my team of commentators, King Batuk, and of course Enes Azutiga, who will also be joining us sometime. Our soundmen and our technicians, Ebigeni, Sheikh Osman Muminin, with our photographers and cameramen, of course, Collins, Sampa, Maestro. They are there behind the cameras to bring you every bit of the event here at the Jophus Anamuah Mensah Conference Center. We promise you a great show today. So you're still live on Radio Winneba 98.3 FM, and today the ECOWAS Parliament, the 5th, is sitting here in Winneba. Now, the ECOWAS Parliament is also known as the Community Parliament. It is a forum for the dialogue, consultation, and consensus for representative of the people of West Africa, with the aim of promoting integration in the West African sub-region. As one of the institutions of the community, it is presently a non-legislative assembly that issues advisory opinion to the authority of heads of state and government and the Council of Ministers. And of course, Shirley Aikoboche, our own Minister for Foreign Affairs, is the chairperson of the Council of Ministers of Ecowas. The Parliament was established under the Article 613 of the Ecowas Revised Treaty of 1993. The protocol relating to the Parliament was signed in Abuja on August 6, 1994. His Excellency, the President, will soon be here as he's been ushered into the conference center of the Jophus Mensah Conference Center. And so for those of you watching us on Facebook at Radio Winneba 98.3 FM, you can see a lineup of chiefs, traditional leaders who are leading His Excellency and his delegation to the conference center, the venue for the program, the 5th legislature program of the high-level parliamentary seminar on 2 decades of democratic elections in ECOWAS member states, achievements, challenges, and the way forward. This is the theme for the event, and it is from now till the 15th or to the 16th of October 2021. Preceding it was the anthem of Ecowas, rendered by the police band. The program is about starting, and we are coming to you live from the Jophus Anamuah Mensah Conference Center.
May I invite the
That's
journalists to ensure that
a high-level
they are
parliamentary
properly
seminar on 2 decades of
where they are
democratic
supposed to be.
elections in Ecowas member states.
Please go up to the gallery. Please, photographers, cameramen, thank you. Your Excellency, before I invite the leader of the Ghanaian delegation to make his welcome remarks, may I invite us all to stand up once again for a minute of silent prayer or meditation, please. Thank you. Thank you, Your Excellency. At this juncture, may I also call on all of us to wear our face mask correctly, taking into consideration the protocol on COVID-19. Wear our masks correctly. Thank you. The Honorable Leader of the Ghanaian delegation, Honorable Afenyo Makin, you are please invited, sir.
Your Excellency, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana and Chairman of Authority of Heads of State and Government of Ecowas, Honorable Dr. Sidi Mohammed Tunis, Right Honorable Speaker of Ecowas Parliament, Honorable Joe Osei-Wusu, First Deputy Speaker of Parliament of Ghana, Honorable Shirley Ayokobotre, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Ghana and Chairperson of ECOWAS Council of Ministers, representative of the President of ECOWAS Commission, colleague members of ECOWAS Parliament, Mrs. Jane Mensah, Chairperson, Electoral Commission of Ghana, Nenyi Gati VII, Omar Odefe of Efutu Traditional Area, members of the Diplomatic Corps, our hard-working Secretary General, directors and staff of ECOWAS Parliament, dignitaries here present, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Parliament of Ghana and Ghana's delegation to ECOWAS Parliament, I welcome you to the opening ceremony of ECOWAS Parliament and the way today indeed to work this is the second time in 3 months that Efutu has had the rare honor of hosting distinguished West African MPs and other international dignitaries for a crucial meeting of this pedigree in service to our people. I particularly appreciate the support of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo, President of Ghana. Your Excellency, I want to thank you for being present and a warm welcome to you to the first ECOWAS Parliament high-level seminar being held outside a West African capital city. I am also happy to welcome the Speaker of ECOWAS Parliament, Honorable Dr. Sidi Mohammed Tunis, his darling wife, who is also the Minister of Western Region of the Republic of Sierra Leone, Mrs. Nabela Tunis, honorable members of Ecowas Parliament and staff, as well as invited guests to the city of Winneba, the capital of the Futu traditional area, and the capital of a Futu municipal assembly in the central region of Ghana. I guess you've all already felt the warmth of this great town and experienced the richness of its hospitality, and I have no doubt that we have made all the necessary preparations to make your stay as comfortable and pleasurable as possible. Your Excellency, honorable members of Parliament, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, though protocol has dictated that I welcome you all to this ceremony, I, however, crave your indulgence to place a brief emphasis on how important this seminar is to the growth of democracy, not in West Africa region, but Africa as a whole. You may recall that over the past 2 decades, we have placed high value on entrenching democracy across ECOWAS member states, and working together, we have scored significant successes. There is no gainsaying of the scars we bear from the brutal past of civil wars and dictatorial regimes that have caused massive poverty, loss of human lives, and economic stagnation. However, it is predominantly evident that the African region has recovered significantly from the menace of the past, and our states are more secure, democratic, prosperous, and progressive. Increasingly, regular elections are being held. Our education and healthcare systems have improved, and the digital technology, especially in Ghana, has thrived. I have outlined above to draw your attention to the fact that all these would not have been possible in the absence of regular democratic elections, civil order, and cohesion in our drive as a community of states and with our partners around the world. Notwithstanding the gains we have made, there still exist challenges we must tackle. Recent developments in Mali and Guinea provide more reasons for a more consolidated effort to protect the strides we have made. That is why the Ecowas Parliament deemed it fit to hold this seminar for the purpose of taking stock of our democratic legacy as a region and propose recommendations on how we can better protect it. Colleague MPs in the sub-region, I know full well that COVID-19 has forced various draconian measures that made international travels more tedious and complicated than they used to be. When added to our never-ending schedules as leaders and politicians, I do not doubt that many of us are beginning to feel the stress of restless and selfless service to our people. Nonetheless, I urge us all to dig deeper into the innermost parts of our respective bodies to find the energy needed to support and make this seminar a fruitful one. Indeed, as we all did in July this year, we must participate in the proceedings fully by listening attentively to our distinguished resource persons and make formidable contributions to discussions. To our knowledgeable resource persons who have agreed to share their knowledge and rich experience with us over the next few days, let me say that we are profoundly grateful for all your past and future contributions to the effort to build a strong regional parliament for the benefit of our people. Before wrapping up these remarks, let me remind us all, and especially our moderators, to strictly abide by our schedule and not to allow any session overrun. This way, we can make good time to network better and venture out to explore, admire, and experience the abundant tourism-related treasures that Winneba, the central region, and Ghana have to offer visitors. I'm talking about rich history, food and culture, our forts and castles, our serene and clean beaches, our green forests, and the beautiful animals that live in them, and above all, our loving and amazing people. I sincerely hope you would enjoy today and the next few days of discussions, debates, networking, and sightseeing. Thank you for making the journey to this great city, Winneba. God bless Ecowas Parliament. Merci beaucoup. Obrigado. Thank you very much.
Leader of the Ghanaian delegation to the Ecowas Parliament, the Honorable Alexander Afio-Makin, giving his welcome
Your
address.
Excellency and Chair of Authority of the Ecowas, may I solicit that all remarks be made brief in line with your busy schedule. With this, may I invite the representative of the President of the Ecowas Commission, Mr. Emmanuel E. Okorodudu, to come forward and make his remark.
And I have a representative of the President of the Ecowas Commission.
Your Excellency, it's an omission. May we invite the Paramount Chief of a Futu traditional area to come forward and make his remark.
So, a quick change has been made, and it's the Paramount Chief of F2, Nengate VII, who will now welcome all participants, including the President of the Republic, to his land of Efutu.
Your Excellency, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo of the Republic of Ghana, I wish to stand on the protocol already established by my Member of Parliament and leader of the Ghana delegation to the Ecowas Parliament, Honorable Alexander Afio-Makin. Now, ladies and gentlemen, accept the warmest and affectionate greetings from the chiefs and people of the Futu traditional area. It has been a nice morning, and we believe nature has been kind enough to grant us good health to be gathered here for the opening ceremony of this high-level interactive parliamentary seminar to precede the extraordinary meeting of the Ecowas Parliament. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I am honored and most grateful to be participating in this very important opening ceremony of this session of the Ecowas Parliament to say what it takes to welcome you to Winneba. It was exciting when in July this year, the delocalized joint committee of this parliament met here to deliberate on political affairs, peace, security, and African peer review mechanism, legal affairs and human rights, telecommunications, and information technology. It is heartwarming now that the entire Ecowas Parliament is back in Winneba. Excellencies, within our sub-region and Africa at large, Winneba is no new name because of its historical past, associated with the training of freedom fighters for the independence struggles, spearheaded by our first president, Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. He established the Geological Institute here in Winneba, purposely to train cadres for the onslaught with much success. Today, that institute, having been converted into a teacher training college, is now amalgamated into this university. Winneba is comfortably situated on a gentle and beautiful landscape to to enjoy nature's ever-soothing windy but not too warm breeze from both the hinterland and the seafront. The early European merchants who first enjoyed this breeze gave this town the accolade, the Windy Bay. And from this town has become known as Winneba. However, historically, this town has been known as Simpam, after Usimpam, who led his people to settle and establish this community. Though predominantly fishermen, their kind-heartedness, tolerance of many adverse situations, and warmth to sojourners, it earned this community the opportunity to host the office of the provincial governor, which brought along it electricity and potable water first within the Gold Coast colony. Winneba became a surf port and served the colony for the export of raw cocoa beans, palm oil, timber, among others, and imports of building materials, among other resources for the colony. And when the surf port was closed down for a deep sea port, the government of Ghana did not let us alone to suffer the drastic economic hardship created by the vacuum. Instead, establish educational institutions in this town to keep the economy going. So, Winneba today hosts from kindergarten to tertiary institutions, including institutions of nursing, sports, and basic technical craftsmanship training. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I cannot complete my introduction without mentioning our exciting cultural heritage, the celebrations that have highlighted Winneba on the cultural and tourism platform internationally. Here in Winneba, one cannot enjoy Christmas without the masquerade and their annual competition, where masquerade groups compete for honors in costume design and dance forms. The most exciting, however, is the Abacha Festival, which is celebrated on the first Saturday of May each year. During this festival, the king sends his able men into the thickets to hunt and bring home a live deer that he uses to propitiate the chief deity of the land, Penchi Otu. Excellencies, the people of Winneba feel honored and privileged to host this session of the Ecowas Parliament as another historical feat. When we met in July, I stated that our forebears were right in mooting for the formation of this economic union for this sub-region. Be it as anticipated, we pray that our honorable members will strive to achieve the objectives of the establishment of ECOWAS, to put us united purposefully for improved livelihoods in this sub-region, so that the exploits from this will overflow into other regions of our continent. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, after embracing democracy, we are faced with challenges that come with maintaining it as a culture, especially issues of tenure, so as to enjoy its full benefits. Knowing the caliber of honorable members representing our various countries, there is no doubt that this Parliament will work assiduously to fashion out the best procedures akin to our traditions to move us forward in the quest for peaceful electoral processes across our sub-region. We can only build on peace, and so peace we yearn to attain for our people in this sub-region. Excellencies, in welcoming you to this soil, I deem it necessary to say that it is an enviable opportunity given me to say that this is a day the people of Winneba will also use to celebrate another great personality whose ancestry has been associated with the development of our land. We dare say that we have gotten here all by ourselves. We are here today having benefited from the legal brains and mentoring in chieftaincy from some family members of our president, His Excellency Addo Dankwa Akufo. Mr. President, we salute you and appreciate this legacy and pray that you will live by your family commitment to the Futu State. I will also not forget our hard-working, selfless, compassionate, and adorable Member of Parliament, Honorable Alexander Kwamina Afenya-Markin, who incidentally leads Ghana's delegation to the Ecowas Parliament for his enormous efforts in beautifying and getting this town in shape to receive you. On this note, Excellencies, let me, on behalf of the good people of Winneba and the management of the University of Education Winneba, extend a warm welcome and a pleasant stay in Ghana. My sincere thanks to our government and the Ecowas Parliament for the decision to come back to Winneba for this event after the first meeting in July. We hope to have made our mark, and God willing, our president would allow other similar meetings of such magnitude to be hosted in Winneba. It is our sincerest hope that each one of the delegates would enjoy the serene atmosphere to impact on the quality of deliberations. I know for sure that the good and affable people of Winneba would enable peace and love to prevail so that on both sides we would all make this a historic and memorable event. Please enjoy the very best of our people, beaches, food, culture, and all. May God richly bless us and the entire population of Winneba. We say, Omenje, Akwaba, welcome, and bienvenue. Thank you.
That was the Paramount Chief of the Futu Traditional Area, Neigati, the 7th, welcoming all. Of course,
Thank you.
the background is the Twafo Asafo of Winneba. No, in Winneba there are two Asafo companies, two warrior companies, and they are the Twafo and the Dentifo. So performing now is the Twafo Asafo company. These two warrior groups are usually sent by the chief during the annual Abacha Festival into the forest to go bring a live deer for him to perform his traditions. And
Thank you very
this,
much.
as part of
Thank
the culture of the people of Futu, they are performing here to welcome the august parliamentarians, their august visitors to their land.
Thank you very much. May I invite at this juncture the representative of the Ecowas Commission, President of the Ecowas Commission, to come forward and make his remark.
Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, the Chair of Authority of Ecowas Heads of State. While I stand on the existing protocol, let me also acknowledge the presence of the Chair of the Ecowas Council of Ministers and the past President of the Ecowas Commission, Dr. Ibns Chambers. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it gives me tremendous pleasure on behalf of the Ecowas President to deliver this solidarity remark. The Ecowas Parliament has been a close collaborator with the Ecowas Commission. And permit me to also express our sincere gratitude to the head of the Ghanaian delegation and members of the Ecowas Parliament for deeming it necessary to invite the Ecowas Parliament to be part of this conference. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you will agree with us at the Ecowas Commission that the region has witnessed considerable progress in its democratic consolidation efforts over the years, with member states organizing elections regularly in a manner that is credible, transparent, free, and fair. This success in promoting good electoral processes has been made possible with the active support of the Ecowas Parliament in its participation with the Ecowas Commission in monitoring and observing elections within the Ecowas member states. Despite our joint benefit of witnessing successes in the progress of electioneering processes in the region in recent times have experienced a noticeable setbacks in the acceptance of the outcomes of election. The contestation of election results has raised a serious concern that has threatened the region's collective gains to consolidate and deepen participatory democracy. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, against the backdrop of the above stated facts, the development in democratic trajectory of the region has left a lot of room to be desired in terms of how the values and principles of participatory democracy, and election in particular, can be managed to address the albatross of the current retrogression which elections have been experiencing in the region. Elections in the past 2 decades in the region have been made to be a routine exercise, which, as some political actors have alluded to, have been captured by the political elites. Notable academic scholars and public analyst experts across the region have concluded that political elites have used instrumentalization of state capture to negate what true outcomes of electioneering process ought to be by their act of manipulation of the outcomes of elections. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the Commission has been taking steps to evaluate these observations and concerns as they relate to elections in the region. Just last month in Benin Republic, the Commission brought together all its seasoned election observation monitors experts to x-ray this issue and other concerns as to how the Ecowas Commission can better bring value and integrity to the electioneering process in the region. It is important for us to note here the key areas the Commission believes that a lot of focus should be centered on. Notably, these following areas are key: issues of stagnation in the growth of electioneering process and systems, concerns in the effectiveness of election monitoring and observation, the risk of partisan media coverage of electioneering process, capture of the civic space and civil society organization. Lastly, the capture of state security and promotion of election violence. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in spite of these negative attributes highlighted above, the Ecowas Commission is very positive that a conference such as this, being organized by the Ecowas Parliament, will bring a lot of concrete outcomes that will jumpstart a new era in the region's development in participatory democratic values and principles. To evaluate a new direction, therefore, the Commission counts on the Parliament to use this conference as a starting point for drawing up a normative system that will both enhance and deepen participatory democracy in our member states. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as a roundup, let me state that we believe that the Ecowas Parliament, in exercising its role of strengthening integration principles of the community, we use this conference outcome to stimulate our member state legislators in their constitutional responsibility of enacting and reviewing laws relating to participatory democracy and electioneering process in particular. To attain this point or goal, we wish to encourage the Parliament to use its delocalized meetings to engage national parliaments on the need to focus and address their minds on the salient outcome which we expect will come out of this conference. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, while expressing the Commission's appreciation to the Ecowas Parliament for giving the Commission the opportunity to be part of this conference, I wish on behalf of the Ecowas President, His Excellency Jean-Claude Cassibrou, to mention that one of the key outcomes we look forward to emerging from this conference would be that a new milieu are established as a guide to member state parliament and our regional parliament to contribute to the promotion and expansion of the framework and the mechanism for elections and participatory governance in the region. On this final note, I want to express our sincere gratitude to the Speaker of the Ecowas Parliament for organizing this conference and for deeming it necessary to invite the Commission. I want to sincerely thank also His Excellency, our Chair of Authority, President Akufo Addo, and also our Excellency, the Foreign Minister of Ghana and Chair of Council of the Ecowas Commission, and the Ghanaian people for deeming it kind enough to host this conference. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for your kind attention. Thank you.
Chief of the President of the Ecowas Commission, Emmanuel Ivo.
Your Excellencies, may I have the honor to invite the Chairperson, Electoral Commission, Republic of Ghana, Jane Addo Mensah, to present her remark.
His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo, President of the Republic of Ghana and the current chair of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of States and Government, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. I thank the good Lord for making it possible to be here today. Indeed, it is an honor to address a house of this stature at a sitting so important to the future of democratic elections in our nations and across the sub-region. I also express my gratitude to the organizers of this seminar, the Ecowas Parliament, for enabling us to convene as neighbors and compatriots to share the achievements and challenges we have encountered in our stewardship of the high office of leadership to which we have been called. I join in wishing you a warm welcome to Ghana. I trust your stay here will be pleasant and fruitful. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is a well-known fact that elections are one of the most significant building blocks of a democracy. Elections help preserve the sanctity of a democracy. And through elections, a people exercise their sovereign will to choose their own leaders. Indeed, through our electoral processes and laws, nations unite under the common purpose of protecting that sovereign will. And yet, elections and the processes that precede them sometimes prove divisive and destabilizing and threaten the very cohesion they are designed to provide. Sadly, the past few decades have seemed to provide the world with a narrative that has spoken more of the threat than the beauty of elections on our continent. Mr. President, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our convening in this seminar confirms that the story of elections in our sub-region is still being written today, and that the author's pen rests firmly in the palm of our own hands. All of us gathered here have a key role in determining whether going into the next 2 decades, ours will be a story of a rising Africa, an inspiration and a repository of best practices for the lasting benefit of generations yet unborn, or whether it will be another sad African tale of a lost legacy and a broken promise to a generation that looks to us with hope. Mr. President, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to the glory of God, I'm pleased to say that Ghana held an election in December 2020 that proved that the story of elections in our sub-region can indeed be an inspiration, that our story as West African states can be one that brings hope to our youth and light to the coming generations, and that we can provide best practices that the most advanced democracies of the world can learn from. Yes, we can. I humbly refer to Ghana's 2020 elections as historic for the transparency, the credibility, the cost-effectiveness, the high turnout, and the peaceful conduct that characterized it. So orderly, so methodical, so calm were the polls on the 7th of December 2020 that BBC could find no other way to describe our elections than boring. We refer to them as historic also because all our electoral processes and the election itself were conducted in the height of the COVID-19 pandemic without the spread of the virus. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm aware that I'm supposed to be giving a goodwill message, but please permit me to highlight a few of the successes of Ghana's 2020 election. We proved that elections in our sub-region can be run efficiently in spite of the odds and challenges. Indeed, the global COVID-19 pandemic caused a major disruption to our election timetable as a result of the uncertainty and the fact that the suppliers of our electoral materials were unable to meet our procurement schedule owing to the global lockdown. As a result, it was only 6 months to our elections that we were able to commence our electoral processes. And yet, ladies and gentlemen, within that short space of time, we completed every electoral process, including introducing and deploying a new biometric voter management system comprising hardware and software, and preparing a new biometric register. This and other electoral processes were undertaken within a space of 6 months, from the 30th of June, when we started the registration exercise, to the 9th of December, when we declared the presidential results. In spite of the fears and projection of a low turnout as a result of the COVID-19 virus, we compiled an entirely new biometric voters register in 38 days only, successfully registering over 17 million eligible Ghanaians in that short time, and exceeding our initial target of 15 million registrants. And this time, we captured facial features in addition to fingerprints, providing two means of biometric verification. That is the face and the fingerprints. This enabled us to significantly reduce the avenues for voters to be manually verified on election day. By bringing voter registration centers to the doorsteps of citizens, we ensured that every eligible person who wished to register was able to do so. The efficiency of our coverage in the voter registration exercise has been attested to by the recently released population census figures that place Ghana's population at 30.8 million. The 17,027,000 voters on our register represents 55.2% of the population of Ghana, a percentage that meets international standards for registration of voters. The efficiency of our electoral process did not end with the voters' register. On election day, we reduced the time it took a voter to vote from 10 to 12 minutes per voter to 3 to 5 minutes, thanks to the robust and efficient biometric verification devices deployed. Indeed, social media was agog with positive stories of voters on the time it took to vote, each person testifying about their positive experience. We innovated groundbreaking best practice for the achievement of orderly and swift polling processes. And so for the first time in our history, there were no long queues, no frustrated crowds, and no disgruntled voters. And no disgruntled voters on voting day. So orderly and swift was our polling process that by 1 p.m., 70% of our polling stations had completed voting long before the end of polls at 5 p.m. We achieved this through a simple system of reducing the number of voters per polling stations and increasing the number of polling stations nationwide. I'm happy to note that we recorded a voter turnout of 79% compared to 67% in 2016. We proved that electoral processes in West Africa can be transparent. All our electoral activities were conducted in the full glare of the public. During the registration exercise, for example, we ensured that citizens received daily updates on the number of voters registered nationwide. As such, by the end of the registration exercise, the ordinary citizen could calculate with near accuracy the total number of registered voters, drilling down to details such as the number of male, female voters, the number of youth voters, the number of first-time voters, and the number of persons with disabilities, among other indicators. Again, in the months leading to the election, we firmly established a culture of transparency, engaging the public and the media in twice-weekly encounters, which we termed Let the Citizen Know. On this platform, we provided citizens with information on ongoing activities and answered their questions and concerns. This process helped open up our processes and demystify our work. Again, through this platform, we provided swift responses and facts to counter fake news, thereby substantially reducing the tensions and fears that usually arise from fake news and the lack of information. Still in pursuit of transparency, on voting day, we introduced a new layer of scrutiny of the electoral process by introducing the regional level collation of results. The regional collation centers enabled party agents to further scrutinize, affirm, and collate results from constituencies within their regions before submission to the National Collation Center. This further deepened the transparency of our elections and reduced the tension and suspicion that foment during long waits for constituency-level results. In the past, we waited for 275 constituency-level results. This time, the results from the constituencies were sent to the regions and collated at the regional level under the scrutiny of the party agents. And so we received 16 regional results instead of 275 collation results. This innovation introduced efficiency in the collation of results and enabled us to declare the results in a record 48 hours. We proved that elections in our sub-region can be cost-effective, and that with strict financial and procurement protocols, elections on our sub-region can be largely self-financed. Mr. President, Your Excellencies, for the first time in our history, we executed the entire electoral process without donor assistance. Indeed, our elections of 2020 were solely financed by the government of Ghana. I'm happy to note that we reduced the cost of our election by 41% compared to 2016, notwithstanding inflation and price hikes, and the fact that we incurred additional costs owing to the COVID-19 protocols we deployed throughout the election. We cut the cost per voter from $13 per head in 2016 to $7.70 per head at a time when the cost of elections is rising world over. Through this reduction in cost, we saved our government a formidable sum of $90 million. Needless to say, these were no easy feats. It took the Herculean effort of our entire team and the helping hand of the Almighty God to establish these achievements. We met with many challenges, but we surmounted most of them. And those we could not overcome, we learned from. Sadly, 7 lives were lost. And though this does not occur at our polling stations, nor arise as a result of misconduct on our part, 1 life lost is 1 too many. We are confident that our security agencies will share their findings and recommendations for future learning. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the story of Ghana's successful election in 2020 is yours too. For the story of one of us is indeed the story of all of us. My wish for us, as we prepare to share and learn from our collective journey of conducting democratic elections, is that we will arrive at a destination where the successes we have chalked, the lessons that have met us, and the challenges that have met us, and the lessons we have learned, all culminate in a new determination, a new institutional strength, and a new story of elections on the West African continent. And may God Almighty be our helper. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellencies. May I invite the Honorable Minister for Foreign Affairs, Honorable Shirley Ayoko Bochwe, and also Chair of the ECOWAS Council of Ministers, a one-time vibrant and very efficient member of the Ecowas Parliament, to present her remark.
Your Excellency, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo, President of the Republic of Ghana and Chair of the Ecowas Authority of Heads of State and Government. Honorable Joe Osei Owusu, First Deputy Speaker of Ghana's Parliament. The representative of the Ecowas Commission. Right Honorable Mohamed Tunis, Speaker of the Ecowas Parliament. Honorable members of the Ecowas Parliament and Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. Your Excellency, Dr. Mohamed Ibn Chambers, former UN Special Representative of the Secretary General for West Africa and head of the UN Office for West Africa and the Sahel. Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Mrs. Jean Mensah, Chairperson of the Electoral Commission of Ghana, the Paramount Chief of Efutu Traditional Area and Nananum, Honorable Central Regional Minister, Metropolitan, Municipal, and District Chief Executives, distinguished resource persons, Regional Police Commander, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great honor and pleasure that I once again welcome you all to Winneba, Central Region of Ghana, and to this high-level parliamentary seminar by the 5th Legislative Assembly of ECOWAS under the theme, 2 Decades of Democratic Elections in ECOWAS Member States, Achievements, Challenges, and Prospects. Indeed, both the theme and timing of this seminar could not have come at a critical moment than now, when the region is confronted with and working assiduously to find permanent and lasting solutions to the recent challenges to democracy, peace, and stability. The theme is therefore reminiscent of the constant democratic challenges faced by our region in the 60s and 90s, which necessitated a return to democratic and constitutional governance, beginning in the early 90s and extending to the threshold of the year 2000. This development led to the adoption in 2001 of the ECOWAS Supplementary Protocol on Democracy and Good Governance, aimed at strengthening and consolidating governance in the region. The 2001 Supplementary Protocol on Democracy and Good Governance, after 2 decades of its existence, and the recent challenges to the body polity in the republics of Mali and Guinea, calls for an urgent need to review the document to, among others, jettison inherent weaknesses, as well as bring on board new ideas to strengthen and further consolidate democracy and good governance in the ECOWAS region. As the community continues to adapt to an ever-changing global, continental, and regional environment to serve the needs of its citizens, it is important for you as representatives of the people, that is the ECOWAS of peoples, to make an assessment of what the community has been able to achieve, the challenges confronting us in our quest to consolidate democratic practice, and how we can work together to strengthen governance mechanisms that would deliver on the aspirations of the citizens of our community. Your Excellencies, honorable members of Parliament, distinguished guests, as you may recall, the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government, at its extraordinary summit, which was held on the 16th of September 2021 in Accra, tasked the President of the Ecowas Commission to review the 2001 Ecowas Protocol on Democracy and Good Governance to make it fit for purpose. In light of the above,
May I use this opportunity to invite honorable members and representatives of ECOWAS citizens present here today to take this opportunity to critically examine, deliberate, and come out with proposals that would contribute towards the revision of the supplementary protocol on democracy and good governance to reflect as well as meet the realities of today. Whilst wishing honorable members of the Ecowas Parliament and all stakeholders fruitful deliberations, I'd like to conclude by once again warmly welcoming distinguished guests to Winneba. Long live Ecowas Parliament, long live Ecowas. Thank you, merci beaucoup, mucho obrigado.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. May I invite quickly His Excellency the Right Honorable Speaker of the Ecowas Parliament, His Excellency Dr. Tunis Sidi Mohamed, to come forward and make his speech.
Your Excellency, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana and Chairman of Authority of Heads of State and Government of ECOWAS, the Right Honorable First Deputy Speaker of the Parliament of Ghana, Honorable Shirley Ayoko Boshwe, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Ghana and Chairperson of ECOWAS Council of Ministers, representative of the President of ECOWAS Commission, the Right Honorable Deputy Speakers of ECOWAS Parliament, honorable members of ECOWAS Parliament, honorable members of the Ghanaian Parliament, Honorable Mrs. Nabila Tunis, Minister of Western Region, Republic of Sierra Leone, the Honorable Regional Minister of Central Region of the Republic of Ghana, Honorable Jean Mensah, Chairperson, Electoral Commission, Republic of Ghana, Dr. Mohammed Ibn Chambers, former Special Representative of the UN Secretary General and Head of UN Office for West Africa and Sahel, Honorable Ninyi Bate, the 7th Paramount Chief of the Ifutu Traditional Area and other traditional leaders, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Honorable Secretary General, Directors and staff of the ECOWAS Parliament, other dignitaries, our experts, civil society organizations, the press, ladies and gentlemen. I am delighted to welcome you to this occasion, which marks the opening of the ceremony of ECOWAS Parliament's high-level seminar with the theme, 2 decades of democratic elections in ECOWAS member states, achievements, challenges, and the way forward. I want to express my deepest appreciation to His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana and current chair of the Authority of Heads of State, a distinguished and illustrious son of Africa, for gracefully opening the doors of the Republic to us. Through dedicated and exemplary distinction and quality performance, His Excellency has brought great pride both to himself, his country, Ghana, and the African continent. We are proud of him and his achievement as a statesman, a leader, and a Democrat. Since assuming his role as chair of the authority, His Excellency has diligently supported the works of the Parliament and has exercised excellent leadership in handling the affairs of the region. This is in spite of the fact that he inherited a region plagued by the COVID-19 pandemic, terrorism and extremism, as well as monumental economic challenges. Yet, working with the authority and ECOWAS institutions, he has made significant achievements in strengthening democratic institutions, tackling the pandemic, and providing genuine and incredible leadership. History will be kind to you, Mr. President. And the ECOWAS Parliament will remember you long after your service to our community has ended. I also wish to use this medium to sincerely thank the Speaker of the Parliament of Ghana, Right Honorable Alban Kingsford Sumana Bagin, and the entire membership of the Ghanaian Parliament for accepting to host us once again. We are still basking in the euphoria of the remarkable warmth extended to us a few weeks ago when we held our joint delocalized committee meeting here in Winneba. Little wonder we decided to come back here for the 2021 second parliamentary seminar and extraordinary session. In the same vein, I thank the traditional rulers and the people of this historic town for the hospitable disposition towards us. I am also very gratified over the level of support we have received from the ECOWAS Commission, and in particular, the overwhelming commitment shown by its president, His Excellency Dr. Jean-Claude Cassibro, which ultimately led to the success of this seminar. Dr. Bro has been a very trusted ally in our push for a more integrated ECOWAS Parliament, and was inadequate to define how much we cherish his service to the community and his dedication to its successes. We salute you and your lieutenants at the Commission, Mr. President, whilst availing Parliament's commitment to greater collaboration between our institutions. In addition to my reference to the ECOWAS Commission, I also seize this moment to thank authorities at the ECOWAS Bank for Development and Investment, EBID, for the generous contribution made towards the funding of the seminar. We were thrilled by your support, which brought much relief to us, and we thank you. I wish to recall that approximately 3 months ago, we were here in Winneba. We held one among the series of joint committee meetings for the current year. In addition to the love, acceptance, and care we enjoyed, we took away cherished moments from our interactions with the city's traditional leadership. This is why we are glad to return in full to integrate more and enjoy our enviable African traditions and culture. It therefore gives me pleasure to thank Chief Nini Bate VII, Paramount Chief of the Ifutu Traditional Area and Traditional Ruler of Winneba, the council members, and the people of Winneba for once again hosting us. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the theme for the seminar was a carefully crafted one. You will agree with me that considering the upheavals in the political terrain of some countries in the South region, there is no better time than now to properly examine the issues surrounding electoral practices within the South region. After several decades of practicing a democratic system that is based on elections and multi-party systems, the question of how much progress is made in terms of democracy remains, given the political and institutional instability in many countries of the sub-region. Though ECOWAS is increasingly working to enhance the electoral processes in member states through various forms of assistance and electoral observation missions, particularly during presidential elections, we understand that the need for a sustainable approach is there, and that is the reason for our gathering here today. In recent times, some ECOWAS member states are witnessing political instability. Available evidence shows such political upheavals are linked to the electoral processes that precede the casting of ballots, from the establishment of the electoral register to the validation of candidatures and the organization of ballot materials, then to the declaration of results. These electoral crises and violence, which represent the major part of the crisis still rocking the sub-region, seemingly interrogate the ability of member states to conduct elections that are likely to guarantee stability and good governance in a community. This hypothesis underscores the need to carry out an objective assessment of the electoral systems in the member states in order to identify challenges and put forward proposals for possible solutions to the various shortcomings observed in the organization of elections, as well as the effective management of electoral victories during the post-election era. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, you may recall that ECOWAS member states adopted fundamental laws enshrining multi-party democracy and electoral codes, laying down modalities for organizing democratic elections and giving the people the possibility of freely choosing those who lead them at different levels of governance. However, recent developments in the region question the commitment of stakeholders to these laws and protocols. At the moment, we are also looking closely, monitoring the developments in Mali, and continue to admonish political actors to stick to the ECOWAS-approved roadmap for the restoration of democratic rule. We are also of the conviction that in addition to the investments we have made in securing a transition to democratic order in Mali, more needs to be done to ensure that the people of Mali come out of the political crisis that looms. As a community parliament that uncompromisingly upholds the tenets of democracy, we condemn the military takeover in the Republic of Guinea, which ultimately led to the dissolution of the National Assembly, and firmly supports the position taken by the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government at its extraordinary session held in Accra on 8 September 2021. We are joining other stakeholders to call for the immediate restoration of democratic order and parliamentary activities in that country. I would also like to take this opportunity to acknowledge and commend the preponderant roles played by the heads of state and other stakeholders who have been involved in negotiating a swift return to the constitutional rule in Guinea. I particularly commend His Excellency President Julius Maada Bio, President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, for his 11th October walking visit to the Republic of Guinea to hold discussions with the military leadership on the restoration of constitutional order in the Republic and the ECOWAS Democratic Transition Roadmap. I enjoin His Excellency and all relevant individuals and institutions to continue more of such engagements with authorities in Guinea until democratic rule is restored. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, while we condemn the coup in the Republic of Guinea, it is very important that we give serious attention to the new phenomenon of amending the constitution of a state before an election or before the expiration of the tenure of an incumbent president. Amending a constitution to conform to the current realities is not itself a problem. However, when the proposed amendments to the constitution protect the governing elite at the expense of citizens or will undermine the very nature of constitutional democracy, thereby granting the incumbent undue advantage to extend his mandate, then we have a problem. The truth is, this practice is eroding the gains we have made as a community, sinking the region into more chaos, and creating a serious reputational risk for ECOWAS as an institution. If we do not take firm and very decisive actions against this ugly trend, ECOWAS will not only be perceived as a body of failed states, but will indeed fail. We could also name the hijacking of electoral processes, voters' fraud, and disenfranchisement, attack on free speech and the press as vices that attack a country's electoral system and take away from the core of democracy. Considering the effect these have caused us and the toll they continue to have on the region, it has become necessary that we go beyond statements that merely condemns these actions and consider imposing harsher penalties on would-be perpetrators. In the light of the above, it is expected that this seminar will help in the appraisal of not only our electoral system in member states, but will identify challenges and put forward proposals for possible solutions to the various shortcomings observed in the organization of elections and other threats to democracy in the region. Furthermore, it will also identify the deficiencies as well as good practices for conducting elections in member states within the context of existing laws, legal, institutional, and material frameworks. This will be pivotal in the drafting of recommendations for new frameworks and mechanisms to improve existing legal, institutional, and material frameworks for conducting elections in member states. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, talking about elections, permit me to reiterate that one of the cardinal objectives of the current legislature under our leadership is the election of members into the Ecowas Parliament by direct universal suffrage. Despite restrictions and difficulties associated with executing normal activities occasioned by the COVID-19 pandemic, the Parliament was able to kickstart the process last year. Article 18 of the Supplementary Act provides that representatives shall be elected by direct universal suffrage by the citizens of member states. It also provides a transitional period at which time the National Assemblies of member states or their equivalent institutions or organs shall elect such representatives. It is worth noting that in 2024, when the life of the current legislature will be ending, that will be 2 decades of transitioning of this particular parliament to its full democratic competencies. The question we ask ourselves is, when will this transition end? As Speaker, I am committed towards making the direct election of members to the Ecowas Parliament one of the most enduring democratic legacies of this legislature. With that, and premised upon the genuine commitments we have been receiving, we intend initiating more engagements aimed at soliciting overwhelming support for this cause. As a result of our firm commitments to this cause, we have had the greatest honor to appoint His Excellency Mahamadou Issoufou, former President of the Republic of Niger and former Chair of the Ecowas Authority of Heads of State, as the Chief Advocate for the roadmap to direct elections of members of the Ecowas Parliament. Furthermore, we have also appointed His Excellency Dr. Mohamed Ibn Chambers, former President of the Ecowas Commission, former Secretary General ACP, and former Special Representative of the Secretary General and Head of the United Nations Office for West Africa, as Assistant Chief Advocate. I am happy to observe that His Excellency President Issoufou has had a successful political career. He was at the time member of Niger Parliament, where he rose to become the Speaker. That was in addition to heading several standing and ad hoc committees. He was also highly engaged in parliamentary diplomacy and headed the Niger delegation to the ACP-EU Joint Parliamentary Assembly. On his part, His Excellency Dr. Ibn Chambers was also a member of the Ghana Parliament, where he rose to become the first Deputy Speaker. His efforts led to the establishment of the Ghana Parliamentary Service Board, aimed at strengthening career path for parliamentary staff. He equally initiated and supervised the restructuring of ECOWAS institutions, including the ECOWAS Parliament, in 2006. I took time to record the parliamentary credentials of the two advocates as a way of showing their vast knowledge of the workings of the parliament. We believe these two distinguished sons of West Africa, owing to their illustrious democratic credentials, will help promote our objective. In furtherance thereto, I have the most distinguished honor to request Your Excellency, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo, kindly accepts to serve as the champion for the attainment of the direct elections of members of Ecowas Parliament. This request is predicated upon the firm support we have been receiving from Your Excellency, and we sincerely anticipate that you will again graciously honor our request. We are convinced that we are on the right track. We also believe that the advocacy coming from His Excellency Isufu Mahamadou and His Excellency Dr. Ibn Chambers, combined with Your Excellency as a champion, our objective is as good as achieved. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, back to the seminar. My sincere anticipation is that at the end of this seminar, members of Parliament and all participants will have a better understanding of the dynamics of the electoral processes and laws that impact on the democratic practices in the Ecowas region. In the same vein, the seminar will ensure that they have greater appreciation of the practices that are enhancing and deepening participatory democracy and elections. This will set the seal on recommendation for policy frameworks and corrective efforts based on the best practices for future adaptation for elections and participatory democracy. Let me conclude my remarks with a reminder that the weight of the expectations of the people we serve rests on our shoulders. One of the major ways we can protect the interests of the people is by ensuring that the policies and frameworks that emanate from our decision-making process are people-centered. As leaders, we must ensure that the will of the people is not subverted. The choice they make during elections is sacrosanct and must be treated as such. In the light of the aforementioned, I am confident that this seminar will help put us in a better perspective to serve our people so that in the long run, we will have a community that we are all proud of. Long live Ecowas Parliament. Long live Ecowas. Thank you. Merci. Obrigado.
The Speaker of the Ecowas Parliament.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
Mr. Mohammed CDB.
Your Excellencies,
giving his address.
may I
and
invite
calling for a safer punishment.
Honorable Joseph Osei Owosu,
for people
the
or for
able
countries that
representative
engage in coup d'etats.
of the Right Honorable Speaker of the Parliament of Ghana. He is the first Deputy Speaker. You are welcome.
Your Excellency, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo, President of the Republic of Ghana and Chairman of the Authority of Heads of State and Government of Ecowas. Right Honorable Dr. Sidi Mohamed Tunis, Speaker of the Ecowas Parliament. Honorable Shelley Ayokobochi, Minister for Foreign Affairs and Chairman of the Council of Ministers. Honorable Mrs. Justina Marigold Assan, Central Regional Minister. Nenyi Gat VII, Omar Odefe, President of the Futu Traditional Area. Members of the Ecowas Parliament, representative of the President of the Ecowas Commission, Chairperson of the Electoral Commission of Ghana, Mrs. Addo Mensah, staff of Ecowas Parliament, distinguished invited guests, friends of the media, ladies and gentlemen. I am delighted by the opportunity to address you, parliamentarians from the Ecowas member states of this auspicious occasion, the opening of a high-level parliamentary seminar on the theme 2 decades of democratic elections in Ecowas member states, achievements, challenges, and the way forward. Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the leadership and members of Parliament of Ghana, let me use this opportunity to welcome you all, distinguished honorable members, to the city of Winneba. For those of you who are in Winneba for the first time, Winneba is well noted for its fishing activities, agricultural activities, tourism, as well as speeches, I'm hopeful that you will take some time to explore this great region in the true spirit of integration and get to appreciate the richness of its culture. Let me thank the Speaker of Mohammed Tunis for the the fifth legislature of the Community Parliament. Has brought more stability to the work of Ecowas Parliament, as is evident by our here today. Yes, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, there's no elections constitute an important element in the liberal democracy and a vital means of ensuring the orderly process of leadership succession and change where necessary, and an instrument of political authority and legitimization. However, both the structure and process of elections in some parts of the region remain largely perverted. This seminar provides us with a platform to discuss and possibly arrive at some concrete solutions to the pivotal issues confronting elections and democracies in general across the region. I'm informed that this seminar was initiated based on the progress the ECOWAS region has made in its political and democratic endeavors over 2 decades. To promote democratic systems in member states, ECOWAS adopted a declaration of political principles on 6 July 1991, enshrining the commitment of the heads of states and government to promote political pluralism, representative institutions, as well as free and fair democratic participation of citizens in building their respective societies. Yet, despite the declaration, we know that some elections in the sub-region have generated a worrying degree of violence and uncertainty. The political actions observed during the pre-electoral period in some countries, often accompanied by acts of violence, has affected the stability and security of countries concerned and the entire sub-region. Hate speeches, insulting language, and confounded allegations of fraud have been defining what should be proud moments in the democratic legacies of the states. Even though elections are not inherently a source of violence, they can exacerbate political, ethnic, regional, and religious tensions and spill over into violence, especially if they are not conducted within acceptable and transparent institutional frameworks. The failure of elections or their absence likely defines the predominance of political dictatorships and personalized rule in Africa. The political legitimacy conferred by the holding of peaceful, transparent, and credible elections in most countries in West Africa and the Sahel is indispensable for ensuring the optimal functioning of the state and meeting development and security challenges. In spite of the crucial role of elections in engendering political legitimacy in regimes and leadership, it is worth mentioning that democratic aspirations of African people is not only confined to the arena of political democracy, but as elections and granting of civil and political rights, but also involve demand for economic empowerment, better living standards, and adequate social welfare. Indeed, for the majority of the people in Africa, democracy is meaningful only when it delivers socio-economic goods. In other words, political democracy must be linked to socio-economic development. Predicated upon the aforementioned, I'm happy to note that the ECOWAS has initiated the process of appraising the electoral systems in member states to identify the challenges and put forward proposals for possible solutions to the various shortcomings observed in the organizations of elections. This forum also awakens our sensitivities on the pivotal role parliamentarians can play in supporting successful electoral processes. At the regional, ECOWAS increasingly supports electoral processes by providing electoral observers to monitor and assist election management bodies, as well as devising frameworks for the peaceful conduct of elections. However, we believe that more needs to be done to strengthen these efforts at every level. Your Excellency, honorable parliamentarians, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me urge you all to take advantage of the seminar, especially the presentations and discussions that may ensue, derive forward-thinking actions that will eventually set the platform upon which we can expand to Africa as a continent. This is not just crucial to deepening our democracy, but also sets the basis for a more peaceful and prosperous West African region. Once again, I wish you fruitful deliberations and a wonderful stay in Winneba. Thank you. Merci. Obrigado.
Your Excellencies, in order to prepare us for the speech, the grand speech for the day, and to entertain us, may I invite the police band of Ghana to give us a very short musical interlude. This will prepare us and to make way for the speech of the President and Chair of Authority. Thank you. Before Excellency, may I group to sing the President. It is Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. May I have the honor at this time, once again, to invite His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana and current Chair of the Ecowas Authority of Heads of States and Government.
Of the Republic, Nana Dankwa Akufo Addo, is next to address us.
First Deputy Speaker of Ghana's Parliament, Speaker of the Ecowas Parliament, representative of the President of the Ecowas Commission, the first President of the Ecowas Commission, Chairperson of the Ecowas Council of Ministers, and Ghana's Minister for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, members of the Ecowas Parliament, Central Regional Minister, Chairperson of Ghana's Electoral Commission, Member of Parliament for Ifutu constituency, and Head of Ghana's delegation to the Ecowas Parliament, the Mahini of Ifutu traditional area, Nyenyi Ngate VII, and other traditional rulers, members of the diplomatic corps, fellow West Africans, ladies and gentlemen. Ghana is grateful for her choice as host for the high-level regional parliamentary seminar of ECOWAS. And I thank the Right Honorable Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament, Dr. Sidia Mohamed Tunis, for this honor. We are further delighted that Winneba, one of the historic coastal cities of our nation, is a specific venue for the conduct of these proceedings. Your decision to come back to Simpa, as we call Winneba, barely 3 months after holding your delocalized parliamentary committees meetings here, is ample evidence that you enjoyed your stay here. To those of you coming from beyond our shores, especially the members of the ECOWAS Parliament, I extend a hearty akwaba, our word of welcome. Enjoy your stay amongst the people famed for their hospitality. I must at the outset congratulate you, Right Honorable Speaker, for all the efforts you have made since taking office to give greater visibility to the work of the ECOWAS Parliament in the quest to advance regional integration. I applaud the Parliament for the theme of this seminar, the relevance of which is evident in the light of recent happenings in the ECOWAS community, especially in Guinea and Mali. By choosing to address this topic at this time, ECOWAS's Parliament has demonstrated vision, courage, and the spirit to search for solutions aimed at consolidating the democratic growth of the region and help realize the dreams and aspirations of the peoples of the community for a democratic future. Ladies and gentlemen, elections, to use the much-worked phrase, free and fair elections, remain the bedrock of any genuine democracy. And the running of credible elections poses a big challenge to many democracies, including ours in West Africa. In reality, elections the world over are moments of considerable tension, uncertainty, and anxiety for all. In most regions, Such uncertainties usually disappear once election results are declared and the citizenry move on with their lives. In several cases in West Africa, unfortunately, the contrary is oftentimes the case. Recent events in Mali and Guinea have undermined democratic governance in our region. ECOWAS, whose authority I have the honor to be the current chair, is unreservedly committed to maintaining democratic governance in the ECOWAS community. That is why both Guinea and Mali, foundation members of the community, have been suspended from ECOWAS pending the restoration of democratic rule. These happenings in the region require that you, distinguished parliamentarians, take a critical look at the effectiveness of our electoral systems and processes to provide free and fair elections and guarantee accountable governance. I believe we all have a common understanding that democracy is a universal value which is based essentially on two cardinal principles. Firstly, the direct participation of the people in the election of leaders. And secondly, the maintenance and operation of electoral systems that capture the genuine will of the people. These are two closely related, interknitted principles. With reference to the first principle, the authority of any elected public officer is vested in the people, and this can only be legitimately exercised through free, fair, and credible elections. That is why, having dedicated nearly half a century of my life fighting for the entrenchment of democratic values in Ghana's body politic, the accession to power by any other means other than the ballot box remains for me wholly unacceptable, no matter the ostensible justification. This viewpoint is strongly affirmed by the Ecowas Supplementary Protocol on Democracy and Good Governance, which we are all duty-bound to protect. The protocol, quite rightly, frowns on shortcuts to power other than through the ballot box. Those who claim to have solutions to the myriads of problems confronting our countries should convince the population to give them the chance through the ballot box to put their solutions to work. Saber-rattling and unorthodox routes to power, as we know from history, do not necessarily produce durable solutions. The solutions of democracies are far more enduring. On principle number 2, it is important to state that the strength of any democracy is very much determined by the credibility of its electoral systems and respect for the will of the people. We cannot overlook the fact that instability has followed disputed elections in many parts of our continent. All stakeholders in the electoral process must work to ensure that there are no lingering questions about the legitimacy of an election. There will always be winners and losers in an election. That is the system of governments we in West Africa subscribe to. It is painful enough to lose an election. I can testify to that. But the pain should not come with the suspicion of having been cheated. The winner should be warmly congratulated and support extended to enable our many problems to be tackled. The winner will then have the peace of mind for the serious business of governance. In the last 20 years, The world has come to acknowledge that elections in the ECOWAS community have been largely free, fair, and credible. Their outcomes have generally been well acclaimed and accepted. It is vital we maintain this reputation and do not allow any manipulation of the electoral systems to achieve, quote, favorable outcomes, unquote. The perversion of the sanctity of the ballot box carries with it the subversion of good governance. Good governance should and must imperatively exclude political maneuvers to maintain power beyond constitutional requirements. Let us all be aware that beyond that, the marriage between the elected and the electorate becomes forced, the environment becomes toxic, and the mandate becomes precarious. It is for this reason that the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government, under my chairmanship at its last extraordinary summit on 16 September 2021 in Accra, on the Guinean and Malian situations, authorized the ECOWAS Commission to take steps towards an urgent review of the ECOWAS Protocol on Democracy and Good Governance to take account of contemporary developments. And I associate myself with the call to you, the members of Parliament, to contribute to this process of review. I welcome this decision and hope that the review will be swift and pointed. Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members of Parliament, I'm aware that the initial protocol establishing the community Parliament gave it consultative and advisory roles. In 2006, following the restructuring of all ECOWAS institutions, the heads of state and government of ECOWAS, that is the authority, in a supplementary protocol on Parliament, decided that the powers of the Parliament shall be progressively enhanced from advisory to co-decision making and subsequently to a law-making role. It requested the Parliament to conduct the necessary studies into the enhancement of its powers and the elections of members by direct universal adult suffrage. In 2016, by a supplementary act, the powers of Parliament were enhanced to include the involvement of Parliament in the community budget process and the exercise of oversight responsibilities over programs of community institutions, amongst others. In the framework of the current institutional reforms intended to build strong community institutions to drive the ECOWAS Agenda 2050, a restructuring of the Parliament to give it the right of initiating legislative process has become imperative. This, I believe, Right Honorable Speaker, will give Parliament democratic legitimacy to assist in deepen democracy and good governance at the regional level, whilst complementing the consolidation of the efforts of the ECOWAS Commission in building a regional union for ECOWAS to become truly an ECOWAS of peoples. To this end, I want to reiterate further my earlier support for the call to elect members of the ECOWAS Parliament by universal adult suffrage. Achieving that feat will mark an important milestone in the quest for full democracy in the region. It will also enable Parliament function with the needed autonomy, stability, and predictability. It will afford ECOWAS the opportunity to harmonize past and present community legislations in a fast-changing era of globalization and digitization of technology and telecommunications, and create a proper synergy between the Parliament, the Commission, and other community institutions. I accept with humility the exalted role of champion of the process that the Right Honorable Speaker of the Ecowas Parliament has bestowed on me during this opening ceremony. It is unexpected, unattended, but I'll do my best. Right Honorable Speaker, coming back to the subject matter of the seminar, let me extend greetings and encouragement to the various experts and panelists present today. By bringing your different skills and expertise together, a critique of the effective implementation of our electoral systems and processes should assist member states to improve upon their processes of organizing elections and the participation of citizens in governance. I remain a firm adherent of the proposition made by the great British Second World War leader, Winston Spencer Churchill, that, and I quote, "Democracy is the worst form of government except for all the others," unquote. We in Ghana should know, for we have tried virtually all the others. In concluding, I'm indeed pleased to reaffirm before you my unshakable belief in the principles of democratic accountability, which constitute the basis of good governance in our member states. Certainly, we note with sadness that the crises linked to the electoral processes on our continent tend to obscure the efforts made at various levels of the electoral process. It therefore remains the duty of community institutions, through constant interactions with all stakeholders, to ring alarm bells whenever they feel things are going towards the wrong direction. We must not forget that even with 2 decades of democratic elections in our member states, we still remain works in progress as democracies. I'm convinced that we will continue to improve on our electoral systems and processes. Out of duty towards our children and grandchildren, we must not give up when it comes to guaranteeing the integrity of the electoral process and consolidating peace through the establishment of accurate electoral registers, the due validation of candidatures, the material organizations of the ballots, and the proclamations of authentic results. En conclusion, je suis en effet heureux de réaffirmer devant vous ma foi inébranlable dans les principes de responsabilité démocratique qui constituent la base de la bonne gouvernance dans nos États membres. Certes, nous constatons avec tristesse que les crises liées aux processus électoraux sur notre continent tendent à occulter les efforts déployés à différents niveaux du processus électoral. Il demeure donc le devoir des institutions communautaires, par des interactions constantes avec tous les intervenants, de tirer la sonnette d'alarme chaque fois qu'elles sentent que les choses vont dans la mauvaise direction. Nous ne devons pas oublier que même avec 2 décennies d'électorat démocratique dans nos États membres, nous restons toujours en chantier en tant que démocratie. Je suis convaincu que nous continuerons à améliorer nos systèmes et processus électoraux. Par devoir envers nos enfants et petits-enfants, nous ne devons pas baisser les bras lorsqu'il s'agit de garantir l'intégrité du processus électoral et de consolider la paix par l'établissement des listes électorales exactes, la validation idoine des candidatures, l'organisation matérielle des scrutins et les proclamations des résultats authentiques. I therefore hope that the work of this seminar through relevant analysis will lead to concrete proposals to enable us meet the challenge of organizing credible elections that are a source of peace and strength for social cohesion in our countries. May your work be crowned with success. Accordingly, I declare the high-level parliamentary seminar on 2 decades of democratic elections in ECOWAS member states, achievements, challenges, and prospects, duly open. Long live the Ecowas Parliament. Long live ECOWAS. Long live regional integration. Muito obrigado. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much.
Please be seated. Thank you, Your Excellency. We will finally round up this very session by inviting the paramount chief of a Futu traditional area, who is going to make some royal pronouncements. First, on the right honorable speaker of the Ecowas Parliament, and secondly, on Mr. President and Chair of Authority.
Owome, owome, hey, owome, hey, owome, owasabrekwe, ekwazibazo, ame, ama. Hey, ama sobeyo, sonkeyo, ama ojimo.
ECOWAS. I am not saying a man pain. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo. Nana Mama Tinase. Mbrasha. Nana. Uncle Asa Fomba. Mahoma Sat Naso. Major Swanjama Henwa. Mezenisi AC Abakoma. Majina ha. Mibabo Simpa Mbrana. One minute Yaba or Arinsem. Simpa Oda Bikase. Subra Bra Oborsa. Correspond by a gentleman paying now. Was the insappanage should one son and you can't know what's about Shiawan. Oh, mana, I have for a queen now a brempon come quota singing Ziwa and Rabbe Frinom Puano. Pempia, Nemfa, my own son, Madame T. Abrafun, what is in there? Windy Bay. One son require. Sebo na tata wasro. Mese one son require. Sebo na tata wasro. Simpa na nanuma. Wone John menaba chudom. Iyo, you put simpa. Simpa odebi kasa. Honorable do the do. No krowa. Honorable.
Excellencies, in my welcome address, I stated that the entire Futu state was excited with the second coming of Ecowas Parliament to Winneba. Today, it's a privilege to us, and we deem it fit to give this honor. The deer hunters companion to our Right Honorable Speaker of the Ecowas Parliament. And our President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Your Excellencies. We have come to the end of this very event, and we wish to thank everyone for having been so patient with us. May I invite His Excellency and the High Table to withdraw to the holding room while the members of the Ecowas Parliament will take their turn and follow through this very site and just go out and wait for the photo session. We'll play the anthem before we depart, please. Thank you. Please stand.
Of the 5th Legislative High-Level Parliamentary Session has ended. The President, His Excellency Dankwa Akufo Addo, will leave for the next session to continue.
Please, let's remain standing while the High Table moves out. Let's remain standing, please. Members of the Parliament are to move out through the other door and wait for the photo session. Members of the Ecowas Parliament to move out through the other door for the photo session. We are not coming back here. Members will enter their buses from there and then we move.
So the session here has ended. His Excellency President Dankwa Akufo Addo is leaving the conference center of the Jophus Anamuah Mensah Conference Center here at the North Campus of the University of Education, Winneba. And the program is the 5th Legislative High-Level Parliamentary Seminar on the theme 2 decades of democratic elections in Ecowas member states, achievements, challenges, and the way forward. And the program opens today, the 13th of November, so the 16th, which is Saturday, here at the Jophus Anamuah Mensah Conference Center. And in all, 15 members of the Ecowas Parliament, or 15 states of Ecowas are attending. And I see the MP for Bodi, Samson Ahi here. He's a member of the Parliament of Ecowas. I see Hajia Ayi Ayamba, the MP for Pusiga, who is also a member of the delegation, as well as several chiefs and queen mothers from within the central region who today will grace the occasion. And it is the 5th Legislative Assembly of the high-level parliamentary session or seminar here in Winneba. You know, ECOWAS is made up of 15 states, which includes Sierra Leone, Togo, Liberia, Guinea-Bissau, the Gambia, Cape Verde, Benin, Nigeria, Niger, Senegal, Guinea, Burkina Faso, and of course, Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana. And each country has a delegation to the Ecowas Parliament. Every country has 5 members on the parliament or in the parliament, but Nigeria has a whooping 38, with Ghana having 8. Nigeria has 35, Ghana having 8. Cote d'Ivoire has 7. Burkina Faso, Guinea, Niger, Mali, Senegal have 6 each, with Cape Verde, Benin, Gabon. Cape Verde, Benin, the Gambia, Guinea-Bissau, Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Togo, each having 5 members on the ECOWAS Parliament.
Right, welcome to 90.3 FM at the Jophus Anamuah Conference Center. That's where we'll be broadcasting live from for this year's ECOWAS seminar taking place for the first time in Winneba, and it's on the theme. That's looking at achievement, challenges, and way forward for ECOWAS when it comes to election. There are 2 decades of democratic elections in ECOWAS member states. Achievement, challenges, and the way forward. That's what is on the theme for this day seminar, which is starting today officially and ends until the 16th of October 2021. So it was here to grace the occasion. Other dignitaries also here, and for the past 4 days or 5 days, we'll see a lot of dignitaries sharing the various sessions of the seminar. Notably is Ibn Chamba, Dr. Tim Chambers, who has been the ECOWAS president before. One time a member of parliament for the good people of Bimbila. Yes, so he is here. There are quite a number of people who will be chairing. I've seen Dr. Kojaku Arijan, who is the former EC boss, also be chairing some of the sessions, as well as J. Mensah, who is the current EC chair, also chairing some sessions that will be taking place here. Quite a number of them, plus other dignitaries from other West African countries are all here to grace the occasion, the sessional occasions. They'll be chairing on various topics and issues. I've seen Richard Sky, who's a journalist, now is a lawyer based in the UK, is also chairing one of the sessions. So that's what's going to happen here between now to Saturday. So all attention is in Winneba, the entire sub-region. When it comes to the Parliament, ECOWAS Parliament is in Winneba now here, and this is how we are decolonializing the ECOWAS Parliament. There was one which looked at cyber issues. That was in July, and this is a major one. Having all together at the colorful auditorium of the Just Jophus. Here we are hosting the opening ceremony for this year's. That was the first time ECOWAS in Futu, Ghana. So that is what I'll be very careful, eventful. Quite a number of traditional groups also here to this occasion. They are all from Winneba here. Various special groups all here, and there were more or less declaration or royal pronouncement on the ECOWAS chair and also His Excellency the President. Okay, and they were presented with a very beautiful, colorful artifact being designed by the good people of this community to the President and the ECOWAS chair. So that's the event here at the Mensah Conference Center. In case you're just tuning in, from Radio Winneba. We're also streaming live on Facebook. That's Radio Winneba 98.3 FM. You can watch all the proceedings here live here. After the event, you can go to our YouTube channel and also watch it there, or Facebook there, to watch it live there. So this has been a colorful, very eventful opening ceremony of the event at the seminar by Parliament and being spearheaded first Deputy Majority Leader of Parliament, MP for Futu, Honorable Aleza Fenyomakins. So Anamuah, almost done here, but the President delegation had a VVIP lodge there.
Yes, the program has ended, and with so many traditional performances. Now performing is the Dankwa Asafo Company, number 2 of Winneba. They are performing. The Tuafu number 1 has performed already. The students from the Department of Theatre Arts of this noble institution, they have also performed already. The place is agog with traditional performances, both in the center, conference center itself, and outside. They are performing there. You are still here at the Jophus Anamuah Mensah Conference Center at the University of Education Winneba, where the 5th Legislative Ecowas Parliament is taking place. And this is the first time that the Parliament is sitting outside its base, that is Abuja, Nigeria. And earlier in July, it has started in Winneba, and this is the second one. The first one was a localized one, where a section of the Parliament sits, but today it is the whole of the Ecowas Parliament that is here in Winneba for a seminar. And the seminar opens from today to the Saturday. And along the side, there are going to be various presentations by various speakers, and they will be moderated by the former Speaker or the former President of the Ecowas Parliament, Dr. Mohammed Ibn Chambers.
Well, live 2.3 FM, and this is our coverage for the opening session of the Ecowas Summit being held in Winneba, here in the central region of Ghana, town of Ghana. And earlier this morning, there was a guard of parade in front of the president, who inspected the guard this morning from the Ghana Armed Forces. So those who miss it can go to our Facebook page. You can watch it live, or the event there. And let's talk about the traditional color which was added to this opening ceremony. Quite reputable chiefs being spearheaded by the Oman area.
King, I see I'm a lover of tradition, and what we've witnessed here was a spectacle to behold. All the various Asafo companies in Winneba were present at the program, and where we also saw some other performances. Of course, the School of Creative Arts, that the Department of Theatre Arts were here, and they thrilled all audience. They ushered in those wonderful artifacts that were presented to the President and the Speaker of the Ecowas Parliament, the Honorable Dr. Mohammed C.D. Tunis. It's been a colorful ceremony today here at the Jophus Anamuah Mensah Conference Center of the North Campus of the University of Education, Winneba. So those of us following us on radio at Radio Winneba 98.3 FM, the others, you can also follow us at Facebook at Radio Winneba 98.3 FM for today's presentation. We are coming to you live from the Jophus Anamuah Mensah Conference Center. King Batuka.
Live on 98.3 FM, and this is where I think we'll end our coverage for today. It has been a colorful one. Cited those who are here, those who are watching us on Facebook, I can attest to the fact that indeed Ghanaian rich traditional culture was exhibited here, and our warm hospitality has also been accorded to the neighboring West African countries who are here with us for this year's ECOWAS Summit. And I'm sure that they will leave an indelible mark, leaving the source of Winneba. They will pick something from this community, and I'm sure this will not be their first or last visit here. They'll be coming more often to visit this town.
Sure. Everybody will wish that this high-level committee or high-level association will be visiting the country from time to time, and we will be glad to share in the joy. In fact, it's been a wonderful day hosting no less a person than the President of the Republic, His Excellency Nana Dankwa Akufo Addo, the former President of the Ecowas Commission, Dr. Mohammed Ibn Chambers, the Chair of the Council of Ministers of Ecowas, Ms. Shelley Ayokoboche, the Central Regional Minister, Justina Marigold Hassan, the Chairperson of the EC, Jean Mensah. I can also see Dr. Eric Bosman Asari, who is the Deputy Chair of the Electoral Commission.
I've also seen the First Deputy Speaker,
Dr. Serebo Kwaku,
First Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Joseph Wusu, Shelley Ayokoboche, they are all here, and a team of other African leaders who are also here, all going out. His Excellency is coming, the President of the Republic of Ghana, has been ushered out. That's His Excellency Nana Dankwa Akufo Addo. Yes, being ushered out, that's Nana Addo there. And the team of dignitaries who are also with him being ushered out, that's His Excellency, then Nana Dankwa Akufo Addo there. Okay, so that is the event, that's what is happening right here, and it's over at the auditorium at the Jophus Mensah Conference Center for today's open ceremony. And Anamuah, I think we can wrap up, and let's thank our technical team.
So this has been our coverage for today, the grand opening of the 5th Legislative High Parliamentary Seminar here at the Jophus Mensah Conference Center, which was opened by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana and the head of the Authority of Heads of States of ECOWAS. It has been me, Kwame Anamuah. King Batuka was a commentator. And let me say we are so much grateful to our technical staff, led by A.B. Geni, Sheikh Osman Muminin, Sam Panay, Collins, and of course Maestro, and to our staff at the studios who controlled from there. We say we so much grateful to you, and to those who listen to us on radio, and those who watch on Facebook, and those who also listened on the university's homepage, and those also who watched on YouTube. We are so much grateful unto you. We may come your game, you may come your way someday with another coverage from the Jophus Mensah Conference Center. This has been me, Kwame Anamuah. We are so grateful to you. Take it up there. Those of you in the studios, Bright Fuga and Mickey.